Apologies about that, people. Obviously, quite late. It's down to me. My laptop, obviously, it has its moments. It froze on before the StreamYard, which it never does. But obviously, we're here. Obviously, for another Hatter show. Obviously, we'll be talking about that Reading game that was played during a week. Obviously, getting into the first of 3 Monday games, and obviously, this one is a massive one because of the team it is, literally near us, etc. So, yeah, like always, I'm joined with my dad. How are we, Dad?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I'm all good.
Honestly, mate, I was just so stressed for that, honestly. But yeah, no, I'm glad you are good. Big up to everyone inside. I know there's a lot of people waiting as well. Appreciate that, especially that whole time. So
Big
yeah,
big shout going out to Jim Jordan. You've got to go back or work and all that. Yeah, you can always watch it on playback. And the thing is, like, the show's normally an hour anyway. So, what was you planning to watch it for 10 minutes or what? If you're still there.
all right. All right, yeah, no, I just see that comment. Yeah, I just see that comment. I was thinking, I didn't see that. So yeah, no, exactly. That is, I know a lot of people do anyway, so it's one of them really. But yeah, let's get into it. So obviously, Reading took on Reading during a week. Obviously, ended a 1-1 draw. Based on how the game went, Reading did deserve something, in my opinion. I have to be honest. But yeah, obviously the lineup was obviously Ethan. Back three was Bell, Bradley, Lockyer, Doherty on the left, Draymate on the right, Ruddock and the Campbell just ahead, and then Woodrow and Morris up front. As for your bench, we had Adebayo, it's good to see him back, Berry, Clark, Freeman, Lansbury, Shea, Taylor. My thoughts on it, I actually got the lineup spot on. So literally what I expected. Obviously, it's good to see, the likes of Elijah back on the bench, especially going into the game tomorrow. Same with Clark, it's good to see him back as well. His spark, what he done as well against Middlesbrough last time out was obviously a really good solo goal as well. So overall, exactly what I said for starting 11. So yeah, your thoughts on that lineup, Dad?
Yeah, echo yours, mate. Basically the same. Do you know what I mean? Kind of saw it coming. But again, good to see Clark on the bench as well. Elijah back. Same. It was nice to see Woodrow starting as well, though.
Yeah. And I did think obviously the game against Rotherham, because he scored, he might have that chance. Obviously, Elijah being out as well, gave me even more obviously confidence to do that. But even in games before, we knew about Elijah getting injured, Blackpool, which is obviously the game before that. I thought he could potentially have a chance there because he did get an assist, and it was a good assist. He come on, made an impact. So yeah, one of them really. Going into the first half, I can't really remember it, to be honest with you. Obviously, there was no goals in the first half. For me, it was more. It's just what it has been a lot this season for us in the first halves, where we haven't. It took us a while to get into the swing of things. Sometimes we're trying to work out the opposition, and I did feel it was sort of like that in this to see how their approach was. Would you agree with that, Dad?
Yeah, definitely. And they were surprisingly, half decent. Obviously, new manager bounce. Well, ain't actually the manager, but I'm talking about. He's a club legend, and he's got them going. It was a little. It took us by surprise a little bit. I felt, but we were dominant eventually.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Big up Reese in the chat. He says first half Doherty at the post, and that's about it. Yeah, I remember that chance. Even Reading had a decent chance, which I'd say is a big first chance of the game. It was obviously over in the end. But yeah, no, from what I remember, there was a few chances. Thinking about it now, but yeah, that was the biggest one, wasn't it? Definitely. So yeah, it's one of them, and to a certain degree, I'd agree with Stephen here as well. First half just played it out, no energy in the sense where it was just trying to figure out how they were. We wasn't playing with that. I'd say that where we're dominant on the ball sort of thing. We was just more. What's that?
Panache, it's called.
Oh right, yeah, no, exactly that. So I'm not really going to talk much about the first half too much. Obviously, it's more so the second half in this game. Obviously, I did take the lead. Bit frustrating. Obviously, Andy Carroll, we know he's known for scoring these type of goals. But the thing that annoyed me, well, a couple of things. So before that, obviously, the goal, Bradley and Lockyer, obviously, there's no communication, which was a little bit annoying. I'm not going to, rip into them because they've been good throughout most of the season. Obviously, we know Bradley's just come back, but like before that, he was doing well. Lockyer's been brilliant throughout the whole season, pretty much, other than West Brom. But again, who was good in that game? Let's be real, especially defensively. So that was a little bit annoying. And then the goal, I don't know who should have been marking him, but someone should have been at least. Obviously, free header. Obviously, we know he's good at doing it, but I just felt it was quite easy for him to do. And yeah, it's frustrating in that sense because I did say to my setter before the game as well. Even though I said 2-0, we'll probably score a header. It would be typical. So yeah, that was my thoughts on it. Your thoughts on the goal, Dad?
Yeah, like they did sort of run into each other, but these are the things that have got to be cut out. For Lockyer, he was ill apparently, but and we wouldn't have had anyone else to play. So, still credit to him. But it was a bit like Bradley was like, oh, yeah, I know he ain't on it, so I'm going to try and run for that. And then they sort of got in each other's way and then conceded the corner or for whatever it was at the end. The market, this is the naivety. You've got to be on it because, Premier League players do use shit ass tactics. And Carroll, he's right. He ain't necessarily a Premier League player now, but he has been, so he knows how to run things when in set pieces, basically. I think the person that was marking him got pushed out of the way by a Reading player, and then it allowed him that header. So it's things like that we've got to be more switched up on. But is what it is. Do you know what I mean? You allow certain, that's what he's good at, and that's what happened. So yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then obviously shortly after, obviously I did get another corner. Obviously I scored, but obviously Andy Carroll did handball it. I did obviously because I follow, the quality's a bit. Sometimes in quick time you don't actually see the players handball it. Like for example, the other day, I don't know if any of you saw the Preston Blackburn game as well. Similar goal. Obviously looking back on the replay, you see it there, and I did think at that time. Obviously, I didn't realise it's a handball until I saw it back. I did think if they went 2-0 up, the game's probably done. Well, we're not winning the game anyway. That's what I was feeling. Maybe get a draw at best, but I was thinking more so probably go on to lose. Obviously, the goal didn't count. And obviously, Carroll got himself sent off. And it was one of them. And then I just felt, with it, we're probably going to go on to at least get an equaliser, given that. But yeah, your thoughts on that incident, Dad?
Yeah, it was like basically where it come across like it was a carbon copy of his first goal, and then the audacity of him to actually do that, and then do you know what? Like, what a bell end. Do you know what I mean? Because ultimately, that if we'd have went on to win that game, he could have cost his team a place in the championship. Like, it's just why are you doing it? Like, you actually think you're going to get away with it because what? Because you're Andy Carroll. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no VAR. Do you know what I mean? Absolute idiot. That his career is done. Yeah, that's someone that Luton would not be recruiting. You know what I mean? Just because we do that, try and get experienced players and that. But absolutely, what an idiot. And yeah, I'm glad it was spotted because that's the main thing.
Yeah.
And I think it gelled us on a little bit as well. I don't know if the game would have been done. I hear what you're saying because the way we were playing, but if we'd have lost, it'd have been a kick up the arse for us. And it kind of probably is anyway. so that's not too bad. But yeah, like just that's what happens. That's what happens when you're, you know, he's just he should be playing at a higher level. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But because of his attitude, because of his injury, like it all must be rolled into one, and you know that's why he acts like he does. I mean, he nearly got a yellow card before that as well for a shit tackle. Do you know what I mean? Because he played a bad pass and that. Do you know what I mean? Like he's just not on it. He's just so inconsistent, even throughout a game. It's ridiculous. Like it's like he's uncoachable, and everyone's trying him out, and he just lets them down. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, glad it was seen, glad it was spotted, and then from then I think we just sort of grew into the game. We made some decent changes, which helped us. So yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Going on to the changes, which was the next bit I was going to go on to. Like you say, definitely felt it helped us, you know, in the game to get back into it for sure. You know, obviously Elijah coming on, Berry, Clark, all very attacking in the sense where Lockyer was one of them to be replaced as well. Obviously, Berry and Clark, you know, they're more attacking midfielders as well. So attacking changes, which I did feel were needed, and they were right in the end. Obviously, before that as well, literally a minute before the goal, this was more of a. I think Freeman went more defensive, like he has been at wing backs at times in the last couple of games, like Blackpool as well when he come on. But this time, I think he was on that right side, and then obviously he come on minute before the goal. Obviously, you know, scrappy goal, but we'll take it. I think Elijah deserves credit for, you know, jumping up to it and obviously getting the assist. See, you know, sometimes players don't want to jump in, you know, when the keeper's coming across to you like that. So fair play to him. And then Morris just on the end of it, scoring again. Did do this thing before the game. So he was a lineup and goal scorer for Luton. I actually got both things spot on, so it was pretty sick. Morris extends his goal tally again, and he is only a 1 goal away now from Gyökeres. And Gyökeres hasn't scored 3 of Coventry's last goal. So I could think Morris could potentially get second now on goal scorers, to be honest. But Morris just doing Morris things, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, in the right place, right time. You know, as you said, fair play to Elijah jumping up at that's what caused, you know, the deflection or whatever to go to Morris. So yeah, and persistence and you know, we had a few opportunities, so it was good to eat, regardless of where it's scrappy. That's what the better teams end up doing. Do you know what I mean? Getting the equaliser somehow, or the winning goal somehow. So yeah, it was good to see.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, that's really it from me when it comes to the 90 minutes as a whole. I'm not sure if there's anything else you'd like to say, Dad. I'll get into the comments because there is a lot of people in here. So big up to yourselves. I will go through the comments. David says, big up the T. Big up yourself, mate. Big up Wolf as well. Tyler's laptop, red card. I rate that one. Big up to Chris. Says, big up everyone. So yeah, big up to yourself. Late Boy TV. Well, big up yourself, Spencer, mate. Yeah, a lot of comments. Big up. Harry saying, give us a wave. There you go, mate. There you go. There's your wave. So yeah, there's that. Big up Stephen says, big up Ty. Big up yourself. No, I'm not going tomorrow. We'll be doing a watch long, but no, I'm not going tomorrow. I think the only game I'm going to remaining is probably Hull, because Blackburn. I remembered earlier I was getting bank holiday in it, so it's going to be double and prices and that, and yeah, it's the time as well. It's a bit of a sticky one for me. So yeah, there's that, and then Stephen forgot to say big up, so he said big up to you, Dad.
No worries, man.
I'm thinking he's Maradona. Oh dear. Well, I won't click on what Stevens had to say about him. Yeah, I do agree with a certain extent. With this, to be honest. You know, some of them are just ridiculously biased. It's mad. amount of games we missed.
I like it because it's funny because you can,
Yeah.
see, because your team, you can see how biased it actually is and how much nonsense they're actually chatting. And some of them ain't that bad, but yeah, nice. I like it because it can be quite funny.
Yeah, no, that's true. David said, no match day vlog. Is that against Watford, that picture? You just changed your picture, haven't you? Yeah. No, unfortunately not, mate. Like I said, Hull. But yeah, the other two, it's not. Well, tomorrow, no, for sure. Blackburn, probably not. So yeah, but that is that. Moving on to the player ratings. So obviously, we will start off with, obviously, Ethan in goal. Now, he was all right when he was called upon. I felt, again, the goal couldn't really have done much for me. I'll go with a 7.
Yeah, same 7. Didn't have much to do really. And as you say, when called upon, he was fine. So
Straight like that, yeah. No, exactly. Moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Lockyer. We'll start off with Lockyer. Obviously, apparently he was, ill. Rob Edwards obviously said that. So fair play to him for, wanting to continue. Fair play for that. The goal, obviously, it weren't just him, like in the build-up, but obviously I felt he could have, him and Bradley could have communicated a little bit better there. But other than that, I felt he was okay. Not the best performance we've seen, but like I said, obviously he was ill. So I'll go with, I'll go with another 7.
Yeah, I'll give him exactly the same reasons. Do you know what I mean? Apparently he's thrown up at half time as well.
Yeah.
Fair play to him.
Exactly.
It's harsh, like, really, because we don't concede many goals. So
yeah,
7. Yeah.
God's sake, Will. Obviously, I've got the fan now. He just said Tyler is a Fanta fan. To be fair, Mum just gave me a load yesterday, so I was like, all right, just stick them in the fridge. You know what I mean? It's one of them. But yeah, moving on to Bradley. Again, like I said, could have done better with the communication. I felt Bradley. I'm actually going to go a bit lower for Bradley. I can't lie. I like Sonny Bradley. Of course, big up. Obviously, I got his shirt from a couple of seasons ago. I'm going to go with 6.5 though.
No, I'll give him a 7. Like, he went, it's like his second game back. He went, that's the only moment I sort of kind of remember, but they both kind of got in each other's way. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. I'm not really basing it too much on that. Other than that, he weren't too bad. I'm just going to give him a 7.
Yeah, fair enough. Moving on to Bell. I thought Bell was really good again. The consistency of this guy, you have to give him massive credit. I think he's definitely up there when it comes to player of the season, whenever that is. And saying that, I know there's EFL rewards today. God knows if any of our players will get anything. Probably not, because you know what they're like. But yeah, just the way he's obviously played this left wing back position, this left centre back, and he's just been so consistent. And I felt he was decent in this game, going forward, making them runs. You know what you get from him. Didn't really put a foot wrong at times for me. I'm actually going to go the highest rating so far. I've given someone. I'm going to go over 7.5.
Yeah, I'll give him 7.5. Again, look lively. Do you know what I mean? Look like one of the more hungrier players. And as you said, positions changed and stuff. And hopefully, because obviously he got sent off in the last game against Middlesbrough, that he gets a chance to redeem himself a little bit in this game. He probably will do, because he's been pushing and pushing and pushing. He's due a goal as well. So, but yeah.
It could be, like you say that, it could be similar to Osho against Watford, for example, where he got obviously sent off, and then we know what happened in the first game. I don't want to jinx it, but you never know.
Yeah, close to man of the match for me.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, 7.5.
Yep, no, fair enough. So that's the back 3 done and goalkeeper. Moving on to, we'll go on to Dre May. I didn't think he was too bad. Obviously, he did get a card. I can't really remember it, to be fair, though. I'm just going to go with 7.
I think I felt it was a little bit better than that. He was quite consistent. When he did it, it wasn't too noticeable, because normally you see him bombing forward more and that. But I think defensively, he was pretty good. I'm going to give him 7.5.
Fair enough. And then moving on to Doherty, obviously on the other side. Is this his first game back? Or was he back in Rotherham? I can't remember since this
Second game back.
second game back. Yeah, that was it. And yeah, no, I thought he was decent again. Obviously, we know he links up well with Bell. I'll go with another 7.5.
Yeah, same. Give him 7.5. He was pretty lively. Again, just getting back into the swing of things. You know, the thing is, Reading did play quite well, so it did. You know, they did limit us.
Yeah.
Sometimes, do you know what I mean? Or we weren't able to quite do it in the final third as much. But you know, the intent was there. 7.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Fair enough. Then moving on to the midfield, we'll start off with Ruddock. Yeah, and, you know, I thought he was okay. You know, obviously it's not been level of what we have seen from him, I feel. But he wasn't terrible. Again, I can't really think of him doing much wrong. I think I'm just going to go with a 7.
Yeah, same. Like it's one of his quieter games. Do you know what I mean? But he wasn't poor, so 7.
Yeah, no, straight up. And then next player was obviously Nakamba. Now, I thought he was decent, to be honest. Obviously, he has been decent a lot of games, bar that Preston game, but, you know, that was one of them early times for him at Luton. And I'm going to put it out there. He was my man of the match in this game. I just felt, you know, the way, you know, he was winning the balls back was just brilliant. You know, we know he's very good at that, covering in front of the defence. I just felt he was, you know, I see him a lot of times just winning the ball. You know, winning the ball back for us, playing the ball forward. So he's my man of the match. As for a rating, I'm going to go with man of the match. I'll go with 8.
I'll give him a 8 as well. You know, he's consistent. You know what you're getting from him now, and potentially if he wasn't playing like he is, we might have lost that game. Or at least conceded another one for definite. But you know we're getting from him, and he's relishing it at the moment. And as I said before, he's going to be a big influence in if we get promotion or not. So, but yeah, I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, no, absolutely, definitely agree with that one. And then moving on to obviously Campbell, who was higher up. He was getting stuck in, you know, doing his usual at times. Again, I wouldn't say it was a standout from him. You know, like we used to seeing, you know, majority of the times. Obviously not as much recently, but usually in general. But he wasn't bad. He wasn't bad for me. I'll go another 7.
I'll give him 7.5. He was all right. Yeah, you know, getting stuck in and that. But, you know, sometimes games dictate how you play, and I feel like Campbell is that type of player sometimes. You know, if we're getting on the ball and he can bob forward, then he's better. Or do you know what I mean? Like, and this was a bit, they were playing well at times, and then we were sort of dragging into it. So it was a bit above average, you know what I mean? 7.5.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And then moving on to the strikers, we will start off with Woodrow. Now, I thought he was decent again. Obviously, he did have to obviously come off, which was obviously not great, especially with how he's been the last 2 games. You know, I felt he was making an impact, you know, in this game before that obviously happened. Felt, you know, stuff he was doing, trying to cause stuff. And I thought he was decent. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious. The annoying thing is, Rob Edwards' thing usually comes out the day before, a bit earlier on, but it hasn't done that. Might be because it's a Monday game, I'm not sure. So I don't know any news or anything. But yeah, I thought he was all right. As for a rating, go with 7.5.
I thought he was quite decent. Again, close up there. It's hard, you know. Do you know what? Actually, I'll give it to him. I'll give him my man of the match, 8. It's a really good performance for him because his second start, and you know, obviously got taken off and that, but he was lively. He offered us something different up front as well, and he got on the ball quite a lot. So yeah, I'll give him man of the match, 8.
Yep, no, fair enough. That is fair enough. And then obviously moving on to the last player that started was obviously Morris getting the goal. Again, like I say, adding to his tally. I think he's got a very good chance, like I said, of getting seconds, only 1 goal behind now. So yeah, it's a scrappy goal, but he was in a good position to obviously get onto it. Another goal in the box. Obviously, he's very good in the box. Yeah, for that, I'm gonna go with one I rarely go with. I'm gonna go with 7.8.
Yeah, I'll give him 7.5. Yeah, in the right place, right time. Other games he's going to do better, but again, they tied us up a little bit. They defended pretty well, so I feel a lot in the back of their minds as well. I'm thinking some of the players ain't looking to get injured and things like that. So slightly less, on the fucking barometer where they were playing up to speed. But yeah, he was all right, 7.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then moving on to the player ratings. Sorry, the player ratings. We're on the player ratings. The bench, sorry, of the player ratings. Obviously, the first player was obviously Elijah. I said made a good impact. Obviously, got the assist, done well to jump up to it. It goes back to what you said there. Some players don't want to risk injury, especially this time. But so the way the keeper was coming out, fair play to him for competing. Obviously, getting the assist, and yeah, he made a good impact when he come on. Might be a high rating for a sub, but like I said, a lot of these subs in this game made an impact, if not all of them. So for my rating, I'm going to go with 7.5.
I'll give him 7. I thought he was effective, as you say, when he come on, got the assist. Looked lively. It's all good. It's all good to see that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then obviously Berry come on at the same time again. I thought he made a good impact. Just good to see. Obviously, we do see that a few times from Berry. When he has come on in games, obviously standout ones. Millwall this season, home, Blackburn away last season, and yeah, I felt he was making an impact in this one as well. Trying to use his creative spark, which he's good at. So again, I'll go with one that I don't go with again. I'll go with 7.2.
I'll give him a 7. Thought he looked good when he come on. He was looking to create chances. Basically brought on for what he was told to do. Sometimes he's brought on to shore up, the midfield a little bit. And, when he's told to come on and do something, he generally does it. Do you know what I mean? He's an intelligent player. So, yeah, 7.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then moving on to Clark, again, made a good impact. Like I say, it's good to see him back, especially coming into this Middlesbrough game. Obviously, he scored that really good solo goal against them in a reverse fixture. And yeah, he's just, obviously good in that cam position. So it's good to see him back. I felt he made an impact similar to Berry. So again, I'm going to go another 7.2.
I'll give him a 7 just. I thought, he missed a sitter as well.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's true.
At times, but you can see that he's fit enough, and potentially, I reckon he might be starting the next game, and it'd be good to see him back. But yeah, 7.
Yeah, no, that's a good shout. I forgot about that. I was a little bit gutted, a little bit frustrated on the watch long, but it's what it is. It's what it is. I still felt he was making that creative spark. So yeah, and then moving on to the last sub, it was Freeman. I'm pretty sure he went into wing back role. We've seen him do that a few times. Well, like the Blackpool game, like I said, that's the only time we've seen him do it. But yeah, I thought he was decent. He come on and just, helped really, and just put in a shift. So for me, I'll go with 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. We've seen him before when he was trying. He was holding on to the ball for too long. He's got ability and stuff, but in this game, he was just more composed, more like aware of his instructions, and he done right. And potentially, who knows? We haven't heard from him all season, but he is the type of player who can come on, dribble past the cut player, and score a banger. That is a good little option. It's similar to Snodgrass last season, I feel. But yeah, 7.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So there you go, people. They are the player ratings. Obviously, you gave Woodrow your player of the match, man of the match, whatever you want to call it. So I give it to Nakamba. So yeah, there you go. There's that. So yeah, I'll go through some comments and then we'll get into the Middlesbrough game. Where was I on the comments? The Birmingham commentator was so biased, it was unbelievable. Yeah, I didn't actually go to that game, so I did listen to it. And I heard what people were saying about that commentator as well. And yeah, all them commentators, because there were two of them, wasn't there? And yeah, they were shocking, man. They were so loud as well. Do you know what I mean? They were so loud. They were like shouting down the mic. Like, they could literally play the ball across, yeah, and they were like, it's all right, mate. Like, it's flipping hell, you know what I mean? Oh. But yeah, no, I agree. They were very frustrating. Big up Joshua, obviously Sunderland fan. He says, "Did you see Sunderland score?" Yes, I did, mate. I did watch it. I knew it was going to be a 2-1 either way. See, I did say 2-1 West Brom. West Brom, man. It's going to be very hard for them to get playoffs now. And I did say going into that game, the loser, I don't think will get playoffs. You know, I look at West Brom's next game as well, and it is Sheffield United away. Sheffield United, obviously, they played yesterday in the FA Cup, did lose, but again, Man City, a lot of people would have expected that. And I just reckon obviously, they can wrap up second if they win. So I think they will. I think West Brom can make it tight, but obviously, I did predict a 2-1. So yeah, in that one, because obviously, that's a rescheduled game. But good win for you guys, man. Even if you guys don't get playoffs, obviously, you are currently in the playoffs now. Even if you don't, it's been a brilliant season back for your first season. You're already competing at the top half, you know, so fair play. But like I say, I knew it'd be a 2-1 either way. I just didn't know who to. But did you see that game at all, Dad?
No, I didn't see it, but I checked up on the score and that, and fair play. Yeah, fair play to Sunderland. Because I think
absolutely.
That West Brom scored, but it was offside as well. So
yeah,
I think excuse me, it'd probably be too much too soon, but they have done really, really well.
Yeah. Either way, you know, to be like
you know,
said, competing at the top half, brilliant.
Yeah, you know, they got a massive stadium and that they always fill it out. That helps with money as well. So I think they'll end up going back up at some point in the next 5 years, definitely. Anyway.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Big up Hanoi says, "Yo, big up yourself, mate. Big up yourself." Stephen's player ratings. There we go. Let's see this. This is a starting 11. So Ethan, he's gone 7. Bradley's gone 7. Lockyer 7. Bell 7.2. Dre May obviously 7.2 as well. Doherty 7. Pelly 7.5. Campbell 7. Canberra 7. Adebayo's his man in a match 7.7. Yeah, fair enough. Looked busy, wanted it. Yeah, exactly. Like I say, you have to give him massive credit, you know, for the assist. You know, the way he jumped up, like I said, not a lot of people do that to business end of the season as well, you know, like trying to not get injuries and that. Morris 7.3. Fair enough. That's fair enough, mate. It's fair enough. Yes, it probably will be. But I think Huddersfield will probably stay up now, to be honest. You know, they're having some good results. I did actually predict them to draw against Sunderland, and they did. They could have even won, to be honest. They had a goal disallowed. I don't really know why. I only saw one replay of it though, so I can't proper judge it. And then I know second half they're all over them, so it's all interesting. Obviously, Lennon, MK Dons fan, there has to be one, I guess. Always comes in, says, "Will Dons stay up?"
I don't know. They got a good chance, you know, at the moment. But do you know what? I'll say that they will.
Yeah, they're having some decent lot of results coming recently, aren't they? I mean, I don't really watch League One. It's more so top half, I'll be honest, just to see if we, you know, don't go out who we can play. Well, they did lose. He was that yesterday, to Fleetwood, though. Fleetwood are decent, you know, we know that. But yeah, before that, you know, before the Charlton game, before that, they were unbeaten in 2, 3, 7. So, yeah, I reckon he probably will stay up, to be honest. In 19th at the moment, 2 points off. Yeah, I reckon he'll stay up, to be honest. So, yeah, there we go with that. Not going to say too much, but fair enough. You know, I'll be honest, when they have the sort of funds they do, you'd sort of expect them to. Shout out to Elliot Lee, though. Shout out to Elliot Lee.
Yeah. All the other star signings. Look, listen, it's about money. You know, there's been a lot of money pumped into that. But saying that, you know, Wrexham are a better team than the conference. And you know they've they are similar to Luton in certain ways. Do you know what I mean? They're definitely always underdogs, especially in Wales and in England. And yeah, it'd be nice to see them actually go up through leagues a little bit. But the money is definitely going to help them. But we all know League Two it's not that easy. Look at Salford. They've got money behind them as well. Maybe not as much. Do you know what I mean? But they've got the experience as well, and they're finding it hard. But I think they'll slowly get there. But they will have a wake up call. They'll have a wake up call because it's definitely more
not easy
than it used to be in that league.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Obviously, Harry experienced the playoff final in League One last season. He was in Sunderland end, and yeah, it did seem mad. Obviously, I remember me and British Chap. Shout out to British Chap. Actually, it was a year ago today. I actually met him. So yeah, that was a big up to him for that. But yeah, I remember we done a watch long for that. So yeah, that was a good game. That John Lecco to say for Dons. Yeah, now obviously he's there, isn't he? He is there. Big up Peter says big up lads, and big up to Chris who's fighting in a month's time. Good luck to him in that. Yeah, big up Chris, mate. Didn't even know you was fighting. Big up, good luck in that. So yeah, there we go with that. Is it for charity or is it just a general bout or whatever? Let me know.
Pound on the cobbles, mate.
Oh dear. But yeah, moving on to the Middlesbrough game tomorrow. Obviously Monday night, like I said, this is the first of 3 Monday night games now we've got. I'm pretty sure they're all back to back, even the one after. Yeah, it will be actually. It will be. Obviously we take on Middlesbrough, like I said, 3rd versus 4th. Now obviously Middlesbrough in their last game. Obviously it was the 3-1 against Hull, wasn't it? I did actually predict that game to be how it was, to be honest. Obviously, I got the score right. I said Hull would play all right, but then Middlesbrough's quality would have a little spell and they'd get their goals. And that's literally what it was like by the looks of it and what I heard from, Hull fans as well. This one's an interesting one. I'm confident, in a way, because, obviously, how good we've been at home coming on to the later stage of the season. Something I always look at as well when we play Middlesbrough is we're actually unbeaten at home against them since we've been back in the Championship. And it's been a very long time since they beat us at Kenilworth Road. So that gives me a little bit of confidence, to be honest, going into it. I'm not going to be doing a Rob Edwards, what he's had to say, because like I said, nothing's come out, but obviously I will do an insight like I usually do, a bit going into it, and then I'll tell you how he's feeling. So Luton Town have lost none of their last 6 home league matches versus Middlesbrough. So that's exactly what I mean. 1-3, drawing 3 since a 1-0 defeat in October 1974. So that's what I mean. It's been a very long time. Middlesbrough are looking for their first league double over Luton since the 1973-74 campaign. Obviously, going back to when they won there. Luton Town have won their last 4 home league matches. They haven't won 5 in a row since the 7-game run ended in December 2018 in League One. Middlesbrough have scored 37 away league goals this season. They're most in the season since the 1973-74, which is also 37. So they're probably gonna break that. They last netted more in 1962, 63, 38. And then the last one, Middlesbrough have kept just 1 clean sheet in their last 23 away league matches. Before this, they kept 4 clean sheets in a row in March and April 2022. So there is some stuff that, you could say guys are in our favour in that sense. Obviously the last one beat us. They do concede a lot of goals as well. It's an interesting one. There's things that you could say probably go in their favour as well. Obviously we haven't won 5 in a row since obviously League One, which weren't too long ago, but obviously it's been a few years. It's an interesting one. How are you feeling going into this one, Dan?
Yeah, Elias. Quite confident because I know that we can compete with anyone. initially it was interesting. Obviously, they hadn't beat us since 1974, but then them other records come. They done the double us over. Then they scored the most away goal, whatever it was. So but I do believe that he's not looking to treat it the way Rob Edwards said he was going to treat it, as if it was a kind of playoff kind of rehearsal. And I know they've got quite a few players out.
Yeah,
well,
I saw that.
So I feel that a little bit that he's not going to be not too bothered about the result, but he's not going to go gung ho in this game, which might change because we can't finish lower than fourth, so we're guaranteed a home tie in the second leg. Then we might actually go, right, you know what? Because of that, let's rest Elijah some more. Let's give. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not sure, but I still think it'll be competitive, and I think we'll get a result. Yeah.
Fair enough. Do you reckon then, after saying that, glimpse of potentially what's to come? Because a lot of people saying this could potentially be the playoff final. What do you reckon?
As I said, they've got players out. We've got players out. It's going to be cagey. It's not going to be. It'll be different if we do meet them in the playoffs. That's why. But it's a good test for both teams, and they'll probably end up just chilling out and cancelling each other out. But I do feel there's going to be a winner.
Fair enough. So yeah, let's go through some comments, and then obviously we'll get into the lineup. General bout, but it's obviously a local thing. Yeah, fair enough, mate. I'd say good luck in it. Stephen says glad Clark is back. Yeah, exactly. Especially for this game. Obviously we know what he did last time against them. Obviously, shame. Obviously we didn't go on to get a result, but that was a brilliant goal, man. That was a brilliant goal in that game. So yeah, that is that. But yeah, let's get into the lineup. Excuse me. So yeah, let's do that. So obviously in goal, it's Ethan. I would go with, of course, and everyone else, of course, would. Defense. Now, obviously, we might still have 3 players out, so this is the only thing that worries me in a sense. Especially with Akpom, for example. On fire he's been this season. 28 goals, I think he's got in the Championship. So I'm probably going to go with what it was the other day. I think that's probably the safest bet to go on based on what I know, which is obviously Bell on the left side. Bradley in the middle, I'd say. And then Lockyer on the right of that. So there's that. Right wing back, obviously, Jamie. Left wing back, obviously, Doherty. The midfield, I would go. Now, this is interesting because obviously Clark's back. I would personally probably go Ruddock, McCamber. Definitely McCamber after his last performance. Obviously, he's on loan as well. And then I'd go Clark. I would put him back in for this game and start him, to be honest. And then up front, it's where you could potentially see, like my dad said, Elijah rested. I just think, because I don't know about Woodrow, about what's going on, I'll probably just go Elijah and obviously Morris. So that's what I'd go with against Middlesbrough. Any changes you'd make to that, Dad?
No, I feel like the defence will be the same, even if Osho is kind of. I think he'll be rested anyway, and Clark. I feel we need to give him a game to get back into the swing of things. A big game as well, so I feel like he probably will start. And yeah, Morris for this game, we will be starting him because also what we've got to look at is see what damage we can do to them with certain players, because obviously you've got to look at it like that. So potentially, yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Woodrow start again, though.
Yeah, I'm only basing it just because I'm not sure. I don't think it's anything serious, but
they know what Adebayo's capable of, or not. Actually, it's an awkward one because they'll know Adebayo more than Woodrow. So yeah, he probably could be right there to start Adebayo, and then they're not really, Woodrow's got that different element, hasn't he? But I say we'll play two our best squad. Do you know what I mean? Regardless of what they do, because again, like I said to you before, it could be a psychological thing as well.
yeah.
Whereas if we did go out and do proper business against them, if we did meet them in the playoffs, they will have that in the back of their mind, regardless of who they've got on the pitch. They will have that in the back of their mind. So, yeah, probably that. But there could be some surprises.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough. It will be interesting. Like I said, a lot of it is me basing it on what I know as well. Just going with the safest options when it comes to who I think will be available and who I know is available, really. So yeah, that is that. It is that time. It is that time. Score predictions. How do you see this one going, Dad, with your goal scorers or scorer?
I think they're potentially considering the players out and just it's going to be sort of a free nervousness to this game, a little bit of free flow as well, because we're both sort of guaranteed to not finish below fourth or whatever. I think it's going to be a bit experiment. We can chill out a little bit in this game. It's going to be a lot of good football played. I feel. I think it's going to be a thriller. So I'm going to go for a 3-2 Luton win.
Jeez. That's mad. Goal scorers?
Goal scorers, I'm going to have Morris, Clark, and Bell.
Nice. Not a bad combo. To be fair, I remember over the years, two standout games we've had with Middlesbrough, at Kenilworth Road. The 3-3 when we first come back up.
Yeah.
Sonny Bradley when he scored that brilliant goal. And also I think of last season when we were 1-0 down, we won 3-1. So we've had a lot of goals, historically, especially in recent years at Kenilworth Road. So I could see something like that, to be fair, obviously with two very good sides as well. Two favourites to, win the playoffs. So yeah, no, I could see that. My prediction, how do I see it going? I think it's going to be one where you'll see a glimpse of maybe what to come. Obviously, I know certain players won't be available for both teams, but just a sense, what Akpom can do, what Morris can do, sort of thing. And I'm going to say it will be the player final for me, these two teams, and you will see an edge of a winner in that one. For this one, I'm going to go for 1-1. I'm going to have a 1-1 draw. My goal scorer, I'll go Morris. I think it's just, you got to go with him, really, haven't you? Obviously, if he does score, he will be level with Gyökeres. So, yeah, like I said, I think he's got a good chance of getting second as well. So, yeah, there are predictions. Few predictions in the comments. Chris has gone 2-1 Middlesbrough. This is my prediction, but tough one to call for me. This will be the player final, in my opinion. Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I agree. No, fair enough. I could maybe see someone edging it, to be fair. I just think for me, you'll see that in the final, I reckon, if these two teams get there. Jackie says, evening, I think we'll edge it at the Kenny. I'm going for a 2-1. Jordan Clark and Marvellous. Nice.
Yeah, nice to see Marvellous score a goal. Do you know what I mean?
And Jackie, we know, does well with her predictions. Obviously, she wins a few bets and that. So hopefully that would be that'd be nice. So yeah, obviously it's one of them as well, even though it is only a point in it between us now where you could probably say if it's a draw, it's better suited for us in that sense. But then again, it depends what we both do on our next games. Obviously after that, we've got another team chasing the playoffs. Obviously Middlesbrough not chasing, but obviously they're in there. And then obviously, it depends really what happens at Blackburn game to see what we can then, go for against Hull, what Middlesbrough do in their two games. They've got Coventry, but I can't remember who else they've got. someone away. I think it's Bristol City. No, not Bristol City. They've already had that. I can't remember who it is, but it's someone away. I know that. So we will see. I think it's actually Rotherham saying that. So I know. I'm pretty sure it's a team that wear red and white. So we will see what happens there. But yeah, that is where we're going to wrap up. Dad, any final things you would like to say before we wrap up?
Just enjoy it. Like, so tomorrow's game is going to be, there's pressure on both teams. Do you know what I mean? Maybe there's more pressure on them because they might be thinking, yeah, we've got to prove like that we're the main team in the playoffs. They're going to find out that they're not. So just enjoy that because that's what it's going to be like. And believe.
No, I absolutely agree with that. Especially, all the pundits, for example, they're all saying Middlesbrough. They're not really ever saying us. So I agree with that as well. And yeah, just enjoy it. We'll know. Even though a lot of us know how far we've come. Games like tomorrow will show that as well because of how highly Middlesbrough are rated, but we're above them. I know it's only a point, but still we are above them. After all this chat that they were potentially going to get second. We're now in the conversation. It's looking unlikely now, but we did overtake them a couple of weeks ago for that. So we will see. We will see what will happen. But yeah, that is that. That is episode 99 of the Hat Show.
Do you want to flake with that?
Oh, God. Obviously, the next one, it is quite good that the next one, obviously, it'd be sick if it was like a Watford or someone like that. But it is against Blackburn, which is a massive game. And it is our final away game of the season as well. So, it's pretty cool that it's going to be for that. Obviously, that will be probably Sunday again. Because obviously, like I said, we've got back-to-back Monday games. Every game now is on a Monday coming up to the end of the season. So, yeah, that is that. Big up to everyone that's tuned in. A lot of people tuned in to this one, I know for sure. So, big up to yourselves. Like I said, apologies about the start as well. Laptop was having one of them moments. But we're currently on 13 likes. And like I said, I know a lot of people tuned in. I did see we gained another subscriber as well before we went live on here as well. So big up to yourself for that. Thank you for that. As for content coming up, Premier League predictions tomorrow because there's obviously games during the week, another game week, and obviously a watch along to this game as I'm not going to it. So that is content tomorrow. So yeah, make sure you tune in for that. But yeah, don't forget to smash a like. Do subscribe to the channel if you are new. Turn on the notification bell. Do want to follow me across any of my socials, link to them are in the description. Subscribe to my other channel as well, T-Boys TV Extra. So yeah, and until tomorrow, hopefully I'll see a lot of you then. Take care and peace. Come on, Luton.